Hello and welcome to Jammu Links in Conversation with series. Our guest of today is Professor R.D. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Jammu University. He's a passionate educationist who dreams day and night of building Jammu University a world-class university. He has rich and wide experience in teaching, research and administration. He's done more than 100 papers in research of business administration. Currently appointed as Vice Chancellor, the man is in news for barring all the political link associations in the campuses of education institutions in the region. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for sparing time for us. So you recently barred the ABVP or other associations having political links on the campuses of education institutions of the region. So what is the reason for this?
This is not true. Nobody was barred or banned their entry to the campus, because there is no question of banning the entry. We have certain norms. Within norms, all concerned can organize the permissible activities on the campus. Of course, the student wings of political parties, the student organizations which are not integral part of university system, they are private kind of organizations affiliated to political parties. Now, these political parties or their student wing or any wing cannot organize any political function, any religious function or any function for the promotion of their political interest on the campus. And it is not only for ABP. ABP can object to it only when it is allowed to NSUI, it is allowed to student wing of Panthers Party, it is allowed to the student wings of National Conference, or it is allowed to student wing of left parties or any other student wing. It is for all. So there is no, it is wrong to say that there was any ban on the entry of ABP, because it is done under rule. University has its own norms, own rules and regulations approved by statutory bodies. University is an autonomous system, and those rule regulations are framed to run the education system. Now, we have two major responsibilities: one, to teach them, train them and really build their career through examination system, and those who do unfair means in the examination system, there are rules to punish them for examination, cheating in examination. Similarly, second part of the responsibility is to build their character, to improve their conduct, refine their personality, make them well behaved students. So it is in this context, when they do not conduct the way our students are supposed to conduct, there are rules and regulations for their discipline. It is written under statutes. So they can't our students cannot organize such kind of activities which are not permissible under those rules. So we are just applying the rules. There is no question of putting any ban on the entry of any student organization.
The recent ABVP issue has taken a lot of political schema to it. ABVP actually sought your permission for holding a meeting at Government Women College Parade, which you have rejected. Any reason for the same?
No, it is false, because Government Women College Parade is under the administrative control of the state government. The college is affiliated with us for academic purpose, not for administrative purposes. So principal in her own administrative capacity, and maybe as per the norms, state government norms, might have taken the decision. Jammu University has nothing to do with regard to the permission for using the campus of Parade College, and some handiwork of mischievous elements, those might have talked to their masters and BJP leadership in the state, and so without betting and without verifying, the same thing communicated to the General Secretary Shri Ram Madhavji. So there is nothing, no truth in it. It is a 100% false statement given.
Thank you for making it clear, because there was a lot of confusion in the minds of the general public of Jammu. So you have attended workshops at national and international levels, having exposed to so many universities. What do you think are the challenges that Jammu University face at this time, and what are the areas that need immediate attention?
Immediate attention in the higher education, particularly college level and university level education, is the quality of education. So that has to be improved in terms of the contents of the syllabus, in terms of the delivery in the classwork, in terms of generation of the knowledge, in terms of the conduct of examination, quality examination, and the declaration of the result on time. Till date, we had been handling all these issues in a traditional manner. We are shifting towards the modern technology, teaching aids, and the way it can be quick, a process that our students, they compete with the national level, international level students. So we are enriching our academic contents. All the members of different academic bodies regularly, they are updating themselves, doing research, going in the field, and getting that knowledge in the form of papers published. That really gives the output of the academics when that goes to the as an addition to the existing knowledge on the literature. So that we are on the job. We are improving the quality of education.
So are we also looking at some foreign university tie-ups for the same?
Yes, we have already taken up the initiatives at individual level. Several top class faculty members of the universities, professors, associate professor, even young assistant professor, young faculty members, they have collaborations in various top class universities. For example, publication in sciences, particularly in Department of Electronics, that has figured in the top class journals of international repute, where highest impact factor is a 40. It is very rarest of rarest means achievement. Similarly, the Department of Management, Department of Commerce, Department of Botany, Zoology, they have already established their name at the international level, and their recognition has been in the form of special schemes granted by funding agencies like UGC, DST, ICSR. So their research activity is no more depending upon the grant from the state government. It is generated through schemes from the funding agencies. Now, till date, we have generated during just a few months more than 35 crores or so through research projects. And when we take in terms of average one faculty per faculty member output in the form of the papers, this is about 3 to 4 papers per faculty member.
Really?
Yeah. And similarly, our students have excelled at the international level. You see the list of our alumni, they are better placed, and at several places, even in the business world, they have occupying the position like CEO, Chief Executive Officers. So we are looking towards the collaboration at institutional level also. That was the collaboration at the individual level. Around 30 to 40 faculty members, they are collaborating with their counterparts in different top class universities of the world. At the institutional level also, certain science department, like I named first that this physics and electronics, Department of Environment. At institutional level also, they have taken up very vigorously, Department of Botany also. And recently we had agreement with the Buddhist University of Cambodia for exchange of faculty and students in Buddhist studies. Buddhist studies department till date continuing with the traditional teaching research, and now we are looking for the collaboration to have better achievement. So agreement has been made. Let us see that in what manner it can improve in teaching and research.
We're talking about skill development, entrepreneurship. There are a lot many digital startups that are happening around the world as well as in India. Like recently IIT, we see most of the startups coming from IIT or other education institutions. Many universities abroad are fully Wi-Fi enabled, and many of Indian institutions also are falling in line to the same, seeing the startup breeding potential in these places. So how open are you if some telecom sector comes forward and offer you a free Wi-Fi this thing? How open is Jammu University to bring technology percolation to the classroom?
You will be happy to know our campus is now Wi-Fi campus, and on demand basis this facility is being extended to the research scholars, all faculty members, and internet labs in most of the department it is available, and the training programs for connecting online already in the pipeline certain courses, and as I was discussing about the collaborations, so online courses with the other universities we are planning to introduce. Of course, till date we have not done the online courses, but as far as IT enabled services is concerned, it is already available on the campus. The entire examination system is being computerized. Admission at the undergraduate level till examination, it is all through computerized system, online admission, online submission of application form. So we are trying our level best, and we have already issued the tenders. Expression of interest, tender comes later. So we are going to the second stage, inviting for ERP, complete enterprise solution. So the entire system on the campus, with the passage of time, God willing, within a year or so, I think it will be IT enabled campus.
You have been claiming on your Facebook page profile that some segments of the media are tarnishing the university or the authorities related to it image. So could you throw some light on the same?
No, of course, it is not unknown fact that which section of print media is really a blackmailing media. It is known fact. Now you see the recent report of cabinet discussion regarding this so-called ban on the entry of ABP, which is not true. A particular section of print media highlighted in a different way, as if BC is going to be removed within days, that a hammer on the vice chancellor, a gaz गिरने वाली है उसके ऊपर. But you find well established media in a very balanced manner and truthful position has been given. Now I don't want to attach any motive to, because reason being the people in the print media, in such sections of the print media, they are not morally, ethically and professionally sound. Unemployed youth, and particularly these small newspapers, they find youth at a lower salary, easily available, and moreover people working in different institutions, they have their own internal bickerings. So they find easily some kind of help from those people with the lesser salary. And those elements who are supplying the information, always it is not true. Most of the time it is biased, maybe in their own favor or in favor of their loved ones. This is how that is going to this a particular section of the media. And another thing is that there are certain elements who remain with this section of print media as a partner, and they are just sharing for unethical purposes, and they are intentionally tarnishing. Now somebody very clearly says that a student approach a particular center with the exam roll number card, was denied to appear in the examination because his roll number was not listed in the center, which is 100% false. The candidate was given the roll number. We got the detailed information from the overall in charge of the examination, from the superintendent, duly signed by all the people. Do you think that all the people, they can tell a lie and go against the interest of the student? They just create a sensation to lower down the image of the university and their functioning, to down their morale, and to continue to with such kind of tactics. But anyway, truth is truth. Let them do, because they are in this kind of business, and it is only as long as the society accept this kind of paper, they can survive. The moment they reject this kind of paper, I think such a section of the print media will automatically collapse.
Sort of perplexity around the NEET issue in our state. So, what do you think it will help the students, the change, the alterations, or not?
Now, this NEET, it is virtually a great opportunity for both, for the state and for the aspiring students. For the state, they will have uniform standard of professional education, particularly MBBS and BDS. When you see various colleges in different parts of the country, standard is not uniform. Though regulating agency MCI and DCI very strong, always keep an eye on the functioning of these professional institutions. State governments have their own mechanism, but the reality is the standard is not uniform. So, once the screening is done through one common system, so that uniformity will be there throughout the country. The quality of professional education will be uniform and of the top level. Then second, that is a great opportunity to the candidates also. There are many complaints from different quarters about unfair means in the admissions, in the examinations, or at different stages of their courses. At least possibility of such allegations will be limited. So, that is why great opportunity to the students also. An opportunity to, it is a in a way a revolution in the professional education of MBBS and BDS, particularly for the parents. The kind of stories in the paper and different kinds of that harassment cases, complaints that figure in the media or we come across through our own circles, indicate that lot of exploitation of the parents, huge capitation fee, and at a different level of education, maybe at the admission level, examination level, at a practical level, at a different level. Then there are certain complaints which are really very heartbreaking. Once you have a controlled system, that to a centralized system, and this credit goes to the present dispensation at the center that they could think of. Of course, there are certain states, and yesterday I think this document, this ordinance was signed by the president. Now it has come into force, and there are certain states, the option is given to the certain state governments that for the state government colleges, they can postpone this need for a year. Otherwise, it is open to them, it is optional, either they go through their own admission process or through NEET, but it is a compulsory to the private sector. What is that indication? That indication private sector has not established yet that image, that reputation that they can maintain transparency, truthfulness, fairness, and the quality of education. Because doctor is a doctor, a poor doctor is a very dangerous thing for the society. So, that is why NEET is really a wonderful creation of the central government to provide relief to all the concerned be it parents, with the children, with the even educational institutions also.
So you shared your thoughts on print media. There's a lot of media sectors coming online. Like Jammu Links is also online media platform. What do you think of us? What do you your thoughts on Jammu Links News?
Because this is my, I think, the second interaction with Jammu Links, and of course I have nothing against it. So far positive in the sense the way you are talking to me, and not anything pre-planned, whatever naturally coming up, and straightway I suppose it will go to the public. That is the fairness of the media, and I congratulate the Jammu Links. And as far as the social media or other electronic media is concerned, it's a wonderful thing. Particularly social media is a wonderful thing. It is a parallel newspaper virtually, which I couldn't communicate through my formal system, through my files, through my ads, through my clarification in the press, through my press releases, which are sometimes edited and again twisted, and in social media going very well. And till recently there was hardly any problem, rather lot of appreciation, except some of my colleagues, they said that perhaps at the highest level, Vice Chancellor level, he should not be on social media so frequently. But anyway, this is a very personal kind of comments. Why I find is a great that opportunity available to anybody to talk to the masses.
Any last message you'd like to share with our viewers?
I convey them that they must not be swayed away just on the basis of the media reports. Before they form any opinion, they must verify the facts, because same thing can be presented in different ways, and it is in this context, information is an information. It has to be understood properly before it is used. I think this is very important, keeping in view the present situation which emerged from this so-called ban on the entry of ABP to the educational institution put by Jammu University, which Jammu University has not done at all.
Thank you so much for your precious time and clearing your stand. And we hope that the truth prevails.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So nice. Thank you.
As Professor Sharma said, that we must verify the facts before we believe in them. We really hope that he has put his stance clear. Thank you for watching this series. Keep watching our series where we keep bringing you personalities of interest from the state. Take care and God bless.